Hello and welcome back to the GorillaBiker. And technically not today, technically a while ago, we're doing a video, or sort of a video, on changing the thermostat and the coolant on the Valkyrie. It's actually quite easy. One thing that I did not mention in the video is I also changed the radiator cap. Let me just change this light a little bit here. That's better. The radiator cap I bought OEM Honda, same as the thermostat was OEM Honda, and the number was 19045-MY3-621. Hopefully you can see that in case my words aren't enough for you. But yeah, did also change that out, which is not shown in the video. And because I was kind of hectically trying to put everything together. I will put a clip up as well of the bike actually running. It is back together now, it's registered. We're making headway. I have a lot of other stuff I need to edit because we just did do a trip on the Rebel and also the V-Strom, which is there. You can't see it. I have so many videos to make, to be honest, and they're not really getting watched. So if you're watching this and you appreciate the videos, please do maybe share them with people who you think might be interested, or at the very least hit like and leave a comment, because it does help a lot with YouTube. But otherwise, the only things I didn't show in the video is actually filling the coolant, and that's because I've done videos on that previously, which I will link either in the pinned comment or the cards that pop up. Because it's all quite straightforward. Basically, what you want to do is, once you get everything, the old coolant drained, your rad cap changed if you're changing your rad cap, your radiator hoses changed if you're changing your radiator hoses, and your thermostat changed if you're changing your thermostat. In this video, I do only change the thermostat O-ring or gasket, and the thermostat housing bolts, and obviously also the coolant drain plug. Copper gasket, copper washer, there we go, words are hard. And then I did just use a generic Asian vehicle coolant, which is what I've used in the V-Strom for years and what I've used in every Asian vehicle that I've ever owned, which is most of my vehicles, and I've never had an issue. Just generic Asian vehicle coolant, and you should be absolutely fine. The big thing about coolant as well is a lot of people talk about flushing and doing all this fancy stuff. I just change it regularly. Generally, I change my coolant every year to 2 years. It's actually due on the Z. In my head, it's due on the Z. And it'll be due on the Rebel as well soon, because it's 3 years old. And personally, I have always found that all of my rad systems last very well. I don't get rust or anything else if I just change it regularly. Because the thing is, if you change it out regularly, you're changing 80+, 90+% of the coolant in the system anyway. So doing that flush, that full flush, probably isn't really that necessary, because you're diluting the older stuff anyway. That's how I've always done it. That light turned off. There we go. That's a little bit better. This is just me doing videos like this now. But that's how I've always done it. And if that's not how you do it, that's absolutely fine. It's just how I do it. This is not an educational channel. Well, I don't know, maybe it is slightly, but it's just me working on bikes and making videos of what I'm doing. So yeah, hopefully you enjoy that bit. And I'm going to do those bits. If you are not sure on how to get into the thermostat, it's tank off, which is 2 bolts. That's in other Valkyrie videos. You can watch the Valkyrie playlist. Airbox out, which is again just loosen your airbox clamps. And I have a spare airbox here. Let me grab it. Here we are. So basically on the airbox, you will have clamps around your little legsies here. You want to loosen those off, and then you flex these in and basically pull the box up. And it goes back in very similarly. It's kind of a pain in the butt, but at the same time, it's not that bad. And then for the carbs out, I think that's in one of the older videos, removing the carbs, which is a little bit more involved, and then you can have access to the thermostat. And honestly, theoretically, I don't think you even need to take out the carbs to actually do the thermostat, because you probably do have access to those 3 bolts. Let me look on my spare bike here. Maybe not. It might be very tight. You might need to remove the carbs. So this is a kind of something, if you're doing your carb rebuild and whatever else, just do this while you're in there, change the bolts, change the thermostat, and then you know you're good to go. So yeah, that's pretty much how you get in there. It's actually quite easy. The drain bolt is always accessible. So if you're just doing a coolant swap, which I won't change my thermostat again for a long time, it was actually still functional. I did test it. How you test the thermostat is put it into a cup, pour in boiling water, see does it open, and then put it under a cold tap, pick it up with pliers obviously or something, don't burn yourself, and it should close back up under the cold water. And then you have a functional thermostat. And if you don't want to pay for a new one, you can just test it and put it back in like that. Should be fine if you're on a budget or whatever else. Personally, when I'm in there and I was doing a full kind of refresh of a Valkyrie, I just put in a new thermostat because it seemed like the right thing to do. Next videos on the Valkyrie, we'll get to that later. But yeah, for now, I'm just going to show you where the coolant drains from and also then the thermostat and stuff like that, and I'll call out the part numbers in that section of the video. For coolant draining, all you want to do is remove this 10mm bolt right here from the port that's right on the bottom facing down, so that's 10mm. And then what you also need to do is remove this cap. To remove the cap, there's actually a little screw goes in right there, and when you remove that, you'll actually get a lot of fluid flow. But the coolant doesn't look horrendous. I don't see any like crazy amount of crap in there, so pretty happy with that one. The reason I'm doing the coolant is, number one, I don't know when it was last done, probably a long time ago, and also so I can do the thermostat, which lives in there. So that'll be the next job. Okay, so for getting into the thermostat lives right here, and there's 3 10mm bolts. So we're going to just take those out and pretty much lift up that cap. Now, be careful here. I've disconnected my battery and whatnot just in case anything spills anywhere. It shouldn't, or whatever else. It'll give us a chance to dry it up. But the thermostat lives just underneath this cover, so pretty easy to get out. I've already loosened these off a little bit. Just be really careful when you're loosening these gently, because you can snap them if they're old. I have bought new thermostat housing bolts as well, just so just so I don't have to deal with putting these ones back in, because they're a little bit all torn up. But anyway, what I'm going to do is pop those 3 bolts out, and then we'll have a look. So this is why you want new bolts. Some of these, if it's going to focus, some of these are truly awful. So if you're going to do this thermostat replacement, I would really recommend getting new bolts. But anyway, then we lift this up, and you should be able to see the thermostat. So all you're going to do to replace that is you're going to pop it up and out with a wiggle. And just remember the orientation as well. So, you want to put it back in the same way. This one's kind of frozen, so we might have to get a tool to pop that out. But yeah, once it's out, it's going to look like this. The Honda part number is 19300-MG9-000. That is the genuine Honda piece. You will also need to get the rubber gasket that goes around the outside, because it doesn't come with it. And just in case you ever forget, the hole on the thermostat, that hole there, faces the front of the bike. If you're ever doing this, that's what it should look like. Alright, and then the gasket for the Honda thermostat is 19305-MCA-A00. So what I'm going to do now is just put that on there, slot it back in there, and then reattach it all with my new bolts, which are just flange bolts, M6x25. I think they're standard thread. It doesn't say it, but there's a part number in case you want to look up exactly this. I believe I just got these all off Partzilla. There are 2 lower bolts as well, which I probably will change out just so that we have all new fresh bolts. And then this is pretty much brand new at that point in that area. So that's it. Like I said, for filling the rad, it's in other videos. I don't want to just belabor the point. But basically, you fill it slowly. The slower you pour in the fluid, the less air you introduce to the system, basically. And then you just want to run the bike a few times, make sure your actual expansion tank is full to the line, and basically if you have any coolant that is bubbles that work their way out during operation, it should pull from that expansion tank and then just top that up as needed. You can obviously also get like radiator kind of bleeders, which I have for a car, but I couldn't get it to mount up to the Valkyrie. I just didn't have an adapter for it. So I just bled it the old-fashioned way, and it's fine. It's been fine since. It's ran several times since. Very happy with it. Other than that, next steps for this is I do have to do the exhaust gaskets. They are in, and I do also have a desmog delete or desmog kit. Yeah, desmog kit, because the previous owner had started the desmog process, and I'm not sure that it's not pulling in air. So rather than trying to refit the whole smog system, I'm just finishing the desmog that he started basically. And then other than that, I'm going to do valve clearances, and then that's it. This should be on the road and I can enjoy it. It's just I don't want to do that stuff. I don't want to do all the work I've done and then put it on the road and then find out that my valves are way too tight. And they're quite straightforward to check on this bike, so that'll be a video as well. But like I said, if you're enjoying these Valkyrie videos and if you enjoy my videos in general, I do appreciate a like, a comment, and a share if you really want to, because the channel, the long videos are not doing well, and it's not that people aren't watching them. The average watch time is good. It's just for some reason they're not being shown to people as much as they used to be. YouTube just doesn't like me, which is fine. It is what it is. Other than that, I did notice one or two people messaging me privately, and I just want to address this in case any other people were thinking this. Two people messaged me privately and asked about, like, am I upset that, you know, I had to go buy a second bike in order to get a running Valkyrie? No. So just to put this into context, this is just one part that I used because I had a spare bike. And actually, that was bad on this one. So Purple Flames tank, like I now have a Purple Flames tank and I have all the other Purple Flame stuff because I've cleaned them up. I just need to finish derusting that tank, which is fine. Not only that though, the throttle tube on this one was busted, so I took that off that bike. The rear lights cluster on this one was busted, and that was really hard to separate, so I just swapped the whole light cluster. Like, this is the thing with old bikes, is sometimes it just makes sense to buy two bikes that need work and put them together. It was the same with the carbs. I wouldn't have had one good full set of carbs without the two bikes. So all of that would have made this completely cost prohibitive. And Alex, who sold me this Purple Flames bike, which is here that you can't see, gave me a fantastic deal on it. Like, no matter what way you look at this, the two of these together, even with shipping the parts bike, we'll call it for now, from New Mexico, the two of these together still only cost me $2,600 just to buy the bikes. So $2,600 plus the work I've put in, I get a load of spare parts, and I have a really good functioning bike for probably, I think, $3,100 roughly. You can't buy them like that on Marketplace, even in decent condition, properly running, with gone through. So overall, was this a good deal for me? Absolutely. I have spare master cylinder, spare clutch master cylinder, spare clutch slave cylinder that I just need to rebuild. But all those parts are valuable. You know, all those parts are valuable. So go back on, please. There we go. So do I bear any upset or anything like that? Absolutely not. In fact, he did me a favor. I've always liked Valkyries. Would I have ever bought one if it wasn't for him putting that idea in my head? Probably not. I might never have owned one. And now not only do I own one, but I have lots of spare parts if I ever need them. Like, even if I sell bits and pieces off one of them to try recoup some of the costs, I'm not going to sell the engine because it's a good engine. I'm actually currently rebuilding the forks off the spare bike so I can just swap them in and then, you know, do what I want to do with these ones. Maybe I'll do something crazy. Who knows? But that's the beauty of this, is that I have lots of spare parts. Like, even if it's the thermostat housing, stuff like that, you know what I mean? All that stuff is valuable and it's all expensive, and now I have parts. Even if it's just the carbs, like I have spare carbs. Like, you can't put into words how valuable you know, having spare parts is. And not only that, like, the parts bike came with bags and stuff like that from Alex, and I have the split seats. I have so many options now, and I cannot put into words how much I appreciate that he pushed me to do this, and also that I have the opportunity to have the parts and stuff. So just to completely address that, there is zero like upset that I couldn't make this work. it's my fault. That's a failing of me. If I put enough money into the parts bike, I could have made it work for sure, but it didn't make financial sense. It made more sense to make one good bike out of two. There's gratitude to Alex. So for anyone watching and anyone wondering that question, absolutely not. Alex is my friend. I love him very much. And yeah, I just appreciate that he gave me not only the opportunity to own a Valkyrie, but also the push to get a full running Valkyrie, which I now have. So yeah, excited for getting this finished. Hopefully this kind of blend of a chat and coolant thermostat change and all that made sense. And yeah, if you watched, thank you very much for watching. If you are a patron, I appreciate you very much. And I really do appreciate the support, especially right now when I'm in a lull again on the channel, which it does happen sometimes, but this one is worse than most. So I really do appreciate patron support, because without you, it'd be a lot harder to do it. It would definitely be a lot harder to kind of convince myself to keep doing this some days. But yeah, that's all I have. Hopefully that was good. Hopefully you'll be seeing this on the road very soon, very soon. The aim is for me to ride this weekend. So I have those jobs to finish up, and then I hope to be on it this weekend, which means you'll be getting a video very soon. There is also a heap of videos from a big long trip we took to Chattanooga. It was 1,300 plus miles on the V-Strom and the Rebel. Videos coming there as well. I think I have three or four. Yeah, I have like a wrap up and then a couple of other ones. So yeah, it's gonna be a busy time, but I'll get through all the editing and I'll get through all the bike projects, and then it's on to what's next, which I don't know what that is yet, but we'll figure something out. Anyway, thanks again for watching. Adios. Outro crew, what would you like to see next as a project? Obviously, I like old bikes. I like working on old bikes. I do need to figure out what I'll do. I know Niall has said that I can put the Valkyrie in his garage when it's finished, because then he can use it, number one, which I'm more than happy with. And also then it gives me space for more projects. So he has said running bikes can sit in his garage, which I assume means because he can use them, which is fine by me. I like seeing my bikes used. And then, yeah, we can do something else. So the SV, I do have to finish the fairings on that, which are in a box. So that'll be next, or that'll actually be going on concurrently with the Valkyrie. I don't know if I record that because no one really cares about the SV, which is fine. There's also millions of videos out there on the SV. And yeah, then I need to figure out what the next project is. Is it trade in the Z900 against an XR650L or a DR650, or do I sell it and just buy an older bike and do it up again? I don't know, because the older resto bike stuff it's not doing well on YouTube right now, and I don't know, is that just because people don't want to work on stuff? They want to go for the newer bikes. But also I don't really care, because I mean, I don't think I'm ever going to like hit it big on YouTube. I just enjoy that when I do get decent views and that all of you still care. So, you know, let me know. Let me know what you'd like to see next as a project, Outro crew, because your opinion means a lot to me. Yeah, bye, Outro crew.